Hi folks, today we're going to be talking about deeping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi folks, today we're going to be talking about drilling deeper. I'm not talking about being a seismologist or being a well digger. I'm talking about finding out how to go ahead and go down into more and more detail so that you can go ahead and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in a much easier manner. Because once you define a problem, 9/10 of the work is done. So if you can become an expert at defining the problems and then breaking those down into small little bite-sized bits and chunks, what will happen is it's going to be a lot easier to accomplish those problems and to solve them. So how do you drill deeper? First of all, I want you to think of an outline. An outline starts here and then you subdivide it. And then you take, let's say, line number 1. Then you have A. And then from A, you go ahead and you subdivide that. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of those, you subdivide those, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Of those, you go ahead and subdivide those so that you break this down, break a large problem into small little discrete tasks so that you can go ahead and accomplish those. And what you want to do is you want to have immediate task, intermediate task, and long-term task. And as you start doing these, what you're going to find is that some things you can do one after the other, consecutively, and some things you can do concurrently. You do one at the same time while that is sort of being put on the back burner. You start another one while that is being cooking on the back burner. You start another one. But what you want to do is you want to finish these. And some tasks you can start and then you have to wait for a response. And so maybe you break that task down into I start it, I get to the point where I have to wait for another result, and then I start something else. And then you have to put a little tickler file into your calendar where you come back and you touch that file again. Now when I was a mortgage broker, one of my mortgage brokers of record, what he would always do is he said, you only open one file at a time. And so he would open a file, he'd work on it, he'd go as far as he could on it that day, and then he'd close up that file, and then he'd do the next file. And that's a very good system to use. When you have one file open, you concentrate on that file. And you might get to the point where I'm waiting on somebody else. I'm waiting on an appraiser report, I'm waiting on a pest control report, I'm waiting for the underwriter. And what you do is you go ahead and you mark down, this is what I'm waiting for. You put it into your day timer or you put it into your online calendar. This is what I'm going to go ahead and follow up on that. And then you close your file and you put it away. When you do this, you become very organized. And what I like to do is I like to break my day into half-hour chunks so that I have my calendar scheduled from 8 o'clock to 8:30. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, from 9 o'clock to 9:30. So that each half hour I have a particular task I need to accomplish. And each time I accomplish a task, I reward myself at the end. Whether that's with a little bell, whether that's by giving myself a gold star, by doing a push-up, whatever it is, I go ahead and reward myself each time I do that so that I stay on task. And if you can go ahead and start drilling deeper, and keeping organized and rewarding yourself and marking down what you've accomplished and where you're going, pretty soon what will happen is you'll get that task accomplished. What you can't do is not write it down, because if you don't write it down, what happens? Or at least what happens to me is I forget it. So I need to write things down, because if you don't write it down, it never happened. Once you have drilled down deeper and deeper and deeper and you start expanding these and exploding these out to get into more and more detail, what you're going to find is that some of these tasks that you're doing need to go ahead and not just finish them and move on, not just close out the file. You have to go ahead and write something in the file to help you understand where you've been. When I'm working on a story, a lot of times what I'll do is before I open that up and work on it again, I'll reread what I've written before, and that will give me an indication of where I need to go. If you don't write it down, it never happened. So you always want to document what you've done, you want to document what you want to do next, and you want to put a little tickler file or a reminder in there, this is what I need to do and when. And when you start doing this on a regular basis, you can drill deeper, you can get more done, and you can do this and reward yourself, do it faster, easier, better, be more organized, so you can be more productive.